I already didn't have a high opinion of the DCU, James Gunn's DCU, before, like, pretty much as soon as I saw David Cornsweet in the Superman suit, and everything I've seen since then, including watching Superman, James Gunn's Superman. Um, all it has done has confirmed why I was right to be skeptical. James Gunn's DCU is going to be a shit show. And if the rumors are to be believed, the Lanterns TV series that's going to air on HBO, produced by James Gunn and David Lindelof, if the rumors are to be believed, this Green Lantern show is going to be just the, kind of it's going to be another giant, like, red flag about the absolute state of Warner Brothers and DC Comics, DC Studios. The greatest American comic book company. Yeah, I'm a DC guy. I like Marvel, but no, DC is number one. The greatest American comic book company with the greatest cast of American superheroes. Basically a license to print money if you would stop being retarded. And but no, James Gunn and Warner Brothers is determined to be retarded. So yeah, a rumor has it James Gunn's DCU show Lanterns will target conservatives as villains. Granted, these are all rumors. None of this is all speculation. None of this is confirmed yet. So grains of salt and all that. The rumored direction of HBO's upcoming Lantern series, a part of James Gunn's DCU, is already igniting controversy after a rumor about its villains, and the show hasn't even premiered yet. According to a new report circulating from a private teaser screening, the Lanterns villains may be portrayed as politically motivated conservative extremists, raising fresh concerns that James Gunn's DCU is once again leaning into divisive messaging rather than timeless storytelling. So yes, the Green Lantern Corps, spacefaring magical super cops who enforce law and order across the galaxy, are going to waste their time on Earth dealing with, you know, right-wing extremists who are living, off on their own in an abandoned town. Now, obviously, the show, if this is true, and these really are the villains, the show will depict them as being terrorists, murderers of some kind. They're going to do something bad, and for some reason, this is the job for Green Lanterns, not local police. Green Lanterns with one of the most space cops with one of the most powerful weapons in the entire universe. They need to be on Earth dealing with, those pesky white nationalists. It's retarded. I hate it. Like, I hope it's not true. But I also, just from what I've seen of the show, I really don't think it's going to look very good. It just doesn't look good. I'm sorry I'm yawning. I didn't get much sleep last night. I apologize. If accurate, the Lantern's villains would mark another entry into a growing pattern for the DCU, one where ideology risks overshadowing character, lore, and audience goodwill. To be clear up front, these details are unverified and must be treated as rumor. But given the creative leadership involved in the direction of recent DCU projects, the speculation is gaining traction for a reason. What the report claims. The report originates from a secondhand account first reported by Comic Book News of a Lanterns teaser that allegedly screened in Mexico City. According to that account, the primary antagonists are described as zealots aligned with conservative political beliefs, operating out of a small, possibly abandoned American town. No classic Green Lantern villains, such as Atrocitus, Sinestro, or Black Hand, or Solomon Grundy, or fucking, they're using Lobo in Supergirl, so, which apparently also isn't very good based on test screenings. Um, were explicitly identified in the footage. Instead, the focus appears to be on grounded human antagonists driven by ideology rather than cosmic or mythological threats. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to watch Green Lanterns fight fucking, I don't want to watch Green Lanterns fight regular human criminals. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's a waste of the character and what they're capable of. That's what street level superheroes are for. Like, I'm not even completely diametrically opposed to the idea that you could have an extreme right wing terrorist group. Like, I'm not completely opposed and have them act as villains. I'm not completely opposed to this. If the story is told right, but like, why have the Green Lantern Corps deal with this shit? Like, why can't this is DC? Like, where's Green Arrow or Batman or Blue Beetle? Or the Question or fucking any number of street level superheroes who could deal with something like this. Why is the Green Lanterns dealing with something like this? It's stupid. The shift alone is notable. For a franchise built on intergalactic cores, emotional spectrums, and larger than life villains, replacing iconic adversaries with politically coded humans represents a dramatic departure from source material expectations. I The 2011 Green Lantern movie is bad. I'm not saying it's a good film, but Mark Strong was fucking great as Sinestro. Just saying. He was good as Sinestro. One reason the rumor is being taken seriously is the creative pedigree behind the series. Lantern's executive produced by Damon Lindelof, whose previous HBO project Watchmen was heavily steeped in modern political commentary. Yes, this is the TV show that Rorschach's Journal inspired a bunch of crazy white nationalists because that's totally what it would do. Even though Rorschach never talked about race, he wasn't crazy about the gays, but Rorschach never talked about race, or at least well, of the excerpts of Rorschach's journal that we got. It's stupid. This is also the show. Watchmen is also the show that made Doctor Manhattan a black man. So The report explicitly compares Lanterns to Watchmen, as well as True Detective and Mayor of Easttown, suggesting a grounded, tense, and realistic tone. Yes, because I want realistic in my Green Lantern TV series. That approach may appeal to prestige TV audiences, but it also signals a clear shift away from the escapism many fans associated with Green Lantern stories. If the Lanterns villains are indeed politically motivated, nope, phone call. My bad. If the Lantern's villains are indeed politically framed, the comparison to Watchmen becomes less tonal and more ideological. The controversy surrounding the rumored Lantern's villains does not exist in a vacuum. Instead, it fits into a broader debate that has followed James Gunn's DCU from its earliest releases, with many fans arguing that modern political themes have increasingly bled into projects that were once defined by escapism. I agree with that. That debate intensified with Peacemaker, which leaned heavily into social commentary and satire. While some praised the show's irreverent tone, others felt it crossed a line by portraying religious and patriotic imagery in a way that many Christian conservatives viewed, many Christian conservative viewers interpreted as mocking or dismissive. Rather than targeting abstract ideas or institutions, critics argued that Peacemaker often framed its commentary around recognizable cultural values, leaving certain audiences feeling singled out rather than entertained. Yeah, I haven't actually watched the Peacemaker series, so but like I'm sure that it's a lot of pretty bog standard, right wingers are cringe and fake and gay and stupid, like a lot of it does. Like I know that like Peacemaker is like supposed to be the hero, but he's also depict like I don't know. It's just I probably should give Peacemaker a try because I heard the first season of Peacemaker is actually pretty funny, but I don't know. It just seems like I'm just tired of it. And then like it also doesn't help, that the Superman movie was full of all kinds of cringe fucking, modern political messaging and I really didn't like it. The discussion resurfaced again with Superman, where viewers pointed to parallels between the film's global conflict themes and ongoing tensions in the Middle East. Although the film never directly referenced real-world events, many felt its framing of power, intervention, and moral authority echoed contemporary geopolitical debates. Supporters, and James Gunn himself, dismissed those interpretations as overreach, while critics argued that the symbolism was deliberate and reflective of Gunn's worldview. Yeah, Gunn is a shit lib. Don't get it twisted. He's a total shit lib. Taken together, these reactions have fueled a perception that the DCU is increasingly willing to court controversy through allegory and modern political framing. Whether intentional or not, that perception has shaped how audiences now approach new projects. As a result, rumors about the Lanterns villains being politically coded have landed in an environment already primed for skepticism. See, that's the thing. We are so fucking tired of this stuff. That's the reason, like, nobody wants, like, I think this, if this is even halfway true, I think the show is just going to flop on its ass. For many longtime fans, the concern isn't that DC stories explore themes. Comic books have always done that, but that the balance may be shifting away from universal storytelling and towards commentary that feels narrowly targeted. It's within the context that Lanterns find itself under scrutiny before a single official trailer has been released. Yeah, because if the villains are always depicted as right wing or like mildly right wing coded, and all left wing, like all the good people, the good politicians, the good cops, the good heroes are all nominally left wing and liberal, then you are telling that you're sending a message out there that all things right wing are bad and all things left wing are good. Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and the replacement. Oh yeah, sorry. I don't mean to read the titles of these paragraphs, but I did it a couple times. The rumor narrative also revisits a controversial theme previously discussed by showrunner Chris Mundy: replacement. According to the report, John Stewart can only assume the Green Lantern mantle if Hal Jordan steps aside. That is fucking retarded. That's stupid. Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner, 4 human Green Lanterns, were all Green Lanterns at the same time. Well, I mean, there were times when all 4 of them were Green Lanterns at the same time, like when that in the 90s, whenever Guy Gardner had Sinestro's yellow power ring, and there, other times where like Hal Jordan at one point was Parallax. I think that was in the 80s, in the late 80s, possibly early 90s. But the point is that all 4 of these guys, like, it was never that John Stewart could only be a Green Lantern because, like, no, Green Lanterns are Green Lanterns for life. They only lose their ring under 2 circumstances. Either they die or they're stripped of the ring by the Guardians of Oa. It's the only way. So there is no, like, Green Lanterns retiring and then, like, a Green Lantern retires and then they get past the ring. No, that's not how it works. I mean, you can take liberties with the source material, but they shouldn't be stupid liberties. Like, that's stupid. The idea that John Stewart could only become the Green Lantern if Hal Jordan steps aside, that's dumb. Why can't they both be Green Lanterns at the same time? Because you want to tell a story where a tired old white man set in his ways has to, give up his power and make way for a based person of color? Go fuck yourself. And I like John Stewart. I've always liked John Stewart. I've never had a problem with that character. While this concept has precedent in interviews, it remains a break from traditional comic lore, especially that Guy Gardner is already active elsewhere in the DCU. Yeah, he is. If true, the handling of Hal Jordan alongside the Lantern's villain, could further fuel fan skepticism, particularly among longtime readers who feel the franchise is being reshaped to serve a message rather than a mythology. Even as a rumor, the discussion around the potential conservative Lanterns villains has struck a nerve because it taps into broader frustrations. Many fans feel superhero adaptations increasingly prioritize commentary over coherence, often at the expense of iconic villains and heroic archetypes. Whether Lanterns ultimately proves these fears justified remains to be seen. The fact that this rumor is resonating so strongly suggests that DC Studios has a credibility problem, one created not by leaks but by precedent. At this stage, nothing about the Lantern's villains has been officially confirmed. However, given the creative team involved, the tonal comparisons being made, and the DCU's recent output, skepticism is understandable. God, it would be really stupid if it's like they kind of like bait and switch you, it'd be dumb. Like at first, it's them looking for them investigating or doing whatever with these right wing extremists or whatever causes them to be the antagonists, and like they in the last like quarter, however many episodes this season. Let's say if the season's gonna be fucking 10 episodes or 12 episodes long. If it's 12 episodes long, then for like the last 4 episodes, Sinestro shows up with yellow power rings. And because these people are afraid of these white supremacists, he makes them all, or I say white supremacists, that hasn't been expressed yet. And again, this is all rumor. But these conservatives, because they strike fear in the hearts of immigrants and people of color and, good liberals, that they all get yellow power rings and they become yellow lanterns. So it's like it's like James Gunn. It's like, oh, but you got both. You got the cosmic threat, from the from the Sinestro core, but then you've also got, you know, it would be dumb. But I also wouldn't put it past James Gunn to do something stupid like that. If Lanterns delivers a compelling story rooted in characters and lore, the controversy may fade. If it leans into ideological framing at the expense of its mythos, the backlash will only grow. For now, fans are watching closely, waiting to see whether Lanterns lights the way forward or becomes another flashpoint in an already divided fandom. I, generally speaking, try to be optimistic about things. I don't try to be one of these people who hates something before it's even come out or before I've even seen it. But if this proves to be true, then it's not a good thing. It's not good. Um, and it's just going to be another nail in the coffin of James Gunn's DCU, especially after it's been revealed that Superman flopped so fucking hard. Technically profitable film, so it wasn't a complete flop per se, but it grossed less than Zack Snyder's Superman did. Not only did it make less money, but movie tickets now are more expensive than they were in 2013, which means it sold fewer tickets. So even if everything was adjusted for, like, if you were to compare adjust everything for 2013 movie prices, it's still flopped, or it's still made less. It's not as it. The point is the DCU is in trouble. Peacemaker did not get a season 3. Season 2 wasn't as loved as season 1 was. Lanterns looks like it's going to be a bit of a fucking shit show, and Superman sucked. So good luck, James Gunn. You're going to need it. Let me know what you think down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. And, do all the algorithm stuff for me. And follow all the links in the description box. And follow me on X. And throw me a Green Lantern ring.